Thank you. Thank you, Doctor.
Hey, it's Dr. Richardson.
Hi, Dr. Richardson. How are you?
I'm fine. Is this light okay? We're having an overcast day here in Atlanta.
Uh-huh.
Let me see.
Did you get hit with with Nicole?
Not yet.
Is she on her way up towards
She
you?
is. I think the rain is coming. Yes.
Ah, all right. Well, you're going to be okay. What's your projection for Atlanta? Big rain?
I think it's just wind and rain. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well,
Yeah, it hit the coast, and then it sort of went to a tropical storm really quickly. So unless it goes back over the ocean, we should be fine.
all right. Well, we're praying.
I used to live in Florida. We left Florida the year they had the 5 hurricanes.
Oh, is that right?
2004. That was the worst year ever. And we left right before it started in May of 2004. We lived in Gainesville. Yep.
Well, wowie. So, are you from there or are you from Atlanta? Which part are you from?
No, I grew up in North Carolina, been to Michigan, Florida, Atlanta, Texas, a little bit of Texas, not much.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so you traveled the South.
I never thought about it that way, with a little bit of a blip into the Northeast or Midwest, not Northeast, Midwest. Yeah.
There you go. Well, it's all good.
It is all good. Yeah.
And what you're doing is all good here. So we're going to have a nice conversation.
Okay.
So thank you very much for allowing us to take a few moments with you here.
Oh, not a problem.
All right. And here we go. Okay. Hi, it's Paul Sackis, Good News Planet, and we're here speaking to Dr. Lisa Richardson, Director of the Division of Cancer Prevention and Control at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Now, that is serious talk, and that's serious
mouthful.
A mouthful, but in addition to a mouthful, it's important what you do, because you're life-saving or helping those live a healthier, kinder way of life. We're going to talk about cancer. And cancer, I say I've done too many shows and I have cancer, and personally, so melanoma. And so, and I've had some 9/11 stuff. So cancer is a serious concern. We have some good news to share today, though.
Oh, absolutely. For the last several years, the rate of cancer has been going down to stable, and the death rate has decreased tremendously. So fewer people are getting cancer and lots fewer people are dying of cancer. So that really is the good news today, Paul.
All right. Well, bottom line, good news. That sounds great. That does sound great. Tell us, you did an annual report to the nation on the status of cancer. Did you do that with somebody?
Yeah, we did it with, there are 4 organizations that are really mandated by Congress to do this report every year to give the status of cancer in the United States. It is the American Cancer Society, the National Cancer Institute, I always get this one, the North American Association of Cancer Registries, and the CDC. So we all rotate and lead the report every year. And this year it was the National Cancer Institute that led the paper.
So are there some findings that we can share with the audience?
Yeah, overall, the number of new cancers being diagnosed, the incidence was down. Mortality, for the most part, was down in all groups of people as well, including young adults and adolescents. And so we thought, overall, that there's a very positive report from the Report to the Nation on cancer in the U.S.
How about, this is a report for the last year, or is this an annual report?
Yeah, so we do this report every year. I can't remember which one this is. It's been so long. But yes, we do an annual report, and we do a special report each year on a certain topic. And this year it was pancreatic cancer.
Okay. So this past year and the year before and the year before, and not that every year before that wasn't concerning, but these last couple of years were very concerning.
Yes.
For health. And did you see some situations that occurred, with the COVID life that we're living under right now and wondering what's going to be next? Did anything come up from that?
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, did anything happen? Did you see anything different how we are living or not living, actually, in certain.
Yeah, so for the incidence of cancer and death rates from cancer, it's too early to tell. The data that we presented in the paper is 2018. So it does provide a very good baseline. And since we do this annually, we'll be able to tell you what happened at the end of 2019 and the beginning of 2020. For the death data, what we do, and that's the mortality data, those data are more, more current. So we will be putting out a report on CDC's website, probably January, February, to look at what happened during 2020, 2021. To do that, yeah.
How about ethnicity and race? Is there a preponderance of more cancer for some than others?
So the overall number of cancers, incidence rate, and death rates are higher among African Americans and Black people usually. There are some places where it's even more, more pronounced, in particular uterine cancer of the lining of the uterus for women. Black women have a higher rate and lower rate of getting the cancer and a higher rate of dying from the cancer. So you see those differences by race and ethnicity when you look at individual cancers, but overall the rates are about the same for getting the cancer, but the death rate tends to be higher in African American.
We have done hundreds of stories on cancer.
Yes.
And we go to these benefits that are out there, Samuel Waxman, and they're loaded with these organizations that keep raising more money to deal with this. And the question is, has anybody been affected by cancer? And unfortunately, everybody in the room, by far, it's an audience coming to a cancer event, but so many people are affected, and then the results of that, I'm saved because my grandson saw a little bump on my arm, and the poppy, they made fun of me. So I got saved with the fun on me.
And so to speak to your point, I think you said you had melanoma, is that right?
Yes.
Melanoma has really been one of those cancers that we've had the most success in. And a lot of it has been due to the treatments. Well, due to the thing that you had happen, someone noticed that there was something abnormal and probably begged you to go get it looked at maybe, and get it removed when it was early. I hope it was an earlier one. Now people with advanced melanoma spread to other parts of the body. The medications that we have are tremendous that can actually cure some people with widespread melanoma. So on both ends of the spectrum, we've made progress with finding it earlier, screening, looking at skin exams for people for melanoma, as well as the advancements in therapy have been unbelievable.
I want to do a shout out for pharma.
Yeah.
Because, a lot of times people want to pick on pharma. And I don't know why they are. Pharma has to spend a lot of money to do research. And even, I would say, a bigger shout out for those people that are in those trials, right? Yeah. That's a big deal, to put your life into a situation where you might not know whether that's going to help you or not help you, right? It's not a proven medicine, right? What do you think about that? I mean, you're in the overseeing all these kinds of things.
Well, at CDC, we do more of the public health side, but, as a person that's interested in the topic, like you said, you're absolutely right. The research that goes into, which is sponsored, a lot of that is sponsored by the National Cancer Institute as well as pharma. The advances have been amazing. My biggest concern as a public health person is that everyone has access to that. And some of the differences we talked about earlier is because certain groups of people don't have access to the cutting edge advances that we have out there. And that's really an area that we have to work on more from all points of society, including government.
Was there a special reason that you went to pancreatic cancer this year?
Well, no, I think one of the reasons is that it is the one cancer that still probably has the lowest 5-year survival rate still. There's not a lot, there's no screening test for it. Isn't found earlier than other, early stages where it can be cured. So really to look at one that's been a tough nugget for us to crack, a tough nut to crack. And so just to give a broader, but there are more and more medications that are being tested, more risk factors that are being found that we can actually work on. Smoking in particular is one of those for pancreas cancer. People who smoke tend to get more pancreas cancer.
And they're coming up with, as we discussed, more new discoveries. We've lived under the discovery of the DNA. We've
Right.
lived under stem cell
Right.
therapies. And maybe AI will have something to do with helping on these kinds of things.
Yeah.
You see the future being good? How do you see the future?
Well, as a treater, is always looking for better ways to treat cancer, and help people get to the point where they are cancer survivors. But yeah, I think the future is bright. We're learning more and more about what causes cancer. We've known forever that, smoking cigarettes and other tobacco use causes cancer. We haven't solved that problem yet. There's still over 30 million people in this country who smoke, and there are ways to help people quit. The other ways, are the public health interventions that we recommend are, being physically active, eating a diet high in fruits and vegetables, and, maintaining a normal weight, which is, in my mind, the hardest thing to do. The things we do in public health are the hardest things to do, right? It's not a shot.
I'm in that same story.
Right, exactly.
I go up and down. It's just like overnight. I don't understand it.
I don't either, but those are the things that we can. And then the other thing is cancer screenings. Screening is done before you have symptoms, right? Just like, the lesion that your grandson found. And so it's sort of the colon cancer, lung cancer, breast and cervical cancer in women, and, prostate cancer is recommended to have a discussion with your physician about whether you should be screened or not. So there are things that we can do, tests that we can do to help people find it early or prevent it.
I'd like to strengthen that message because in today's science, a blood test can tell you a heck of a lot of things if you have a smart doctor who asks for all of the things when they do the blood test, right? That's important. And it's important for you to know that the doctor can, in the old days for prostate cancer, it used to be a different, approach. But now, it's through a blood test. And so it's important that you have a doctor and thank God for the insurance companies because the reality is that this stuff is pretty expensive. And then make sure that you have insurance, right? Wouldn't you say that's important also?
Yeah, one of the biggest predictors of whether you will get something done or not, or get the proper therapy, is whether you have insurance or not. Like I talked about earlier, everybody doesn't have health insurance for whatever reason. And that, we're trying to work as a larger government entity, not CDC, trying to work on some of those issues as well.
All righty. Well, thank you. I know you have a busy schedule. Is there any other information or where can people go maybe look at the study or additional information?
So I can't remember. I think that it's cancer.gov is the NCI website, and our website is cdc.gov/cancer.
Okay. Well, we'll put it on the text that we include with this.
Well, I appreciate it.
I appreciate it also. Your background is fantastic. It's like nature and the sun radiates a beautiful.
This is my son. This is the sunroom that we added to our house a few years ago. Yeah.
Oh, it's for television. I love it.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
It's like you blurred it out, but then the sun comes out and then you see it. So good choice. Real good producer. There you go. And your team is wonderful.
I'm the producer. Exactly.
And your team is wonderful. I want to say that. All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate
you. Take care. Look forward to speaking with you again. Our airwave is open for you whenever you want it.
Well, you ask and you shall receive.
I like your attitude.
All right. Thank you, Paul. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody.